All right. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the What's of a Makeup chat. It is good to be back. Debbie Green with the jump. Debbie Green just snuck in there. She's like, bam, I am so there. Love you, Debbie Green. You may notice it's a little different. I have a new set and I'm so excited. Well, it's not really a set. This is where I'm going to be doing my thing now. We switch things up, but I'm so excited. I think it looks really good. But yeah, I'm so excited to be here today. And my background is definitely not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about is, like, I was gone for the past 2 months, if you don't know this, and I missed all of the big drama, all of that happened. And I don't want to focus on that today more because that's all done. Like, all of the stuff that happened is done. I mean, I think retrospect is good, but I think that there's so much negativity happening right now, just in general in the world. I mean, we're not going to fix that today, obviously, but I wanted to kind of get your input and kind of have a talk about, just negativity in the beauty space and how we can combat that, what we can do as people to try to have more positivity in the space. Is it possible? Is that something that we can do? And if we get bored of that topic, I don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll probably just hang out. But yeah, I thought that might be kind of interesting because I feel like, it's just so, we're so inundated with negativity, at least in American life right now, in my American life right now, that I feel like there's got to be things we can do to help make things more positive. And what do we feel like is contributing to that, all of that, and how can we do that in our daily actions? How can we activity? Mostly, let's talk about the beauty space since this is a beauty channel. So let me go ahead and take a minute and say hello to the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, also known as the people here in live chat. If you're watching on the replay, you're part of the collective brain too by commenting down below. But I'm going to go ahead and scroll up. We already said hi to Debbie. Debbie Green in the house. Tab is here. Hello. Our production manager. She's amazing. Sally is here. And Flory, one of our fabulous reporters. Jamie and Liz. Good to see you. And Amber. Vacation was fantastic. I'm working on a little slideshow. It may have to be multi-part slideshow just for people that care not on makeup days. It'll be bonus stuff. It won't be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It'll be uploaded on another day. Just so you can see what we did and where we went. And if you live near any of those places, I think that might be kind of cool to be like, I know that place. Debbie, glad to be back. Lisa and Emily and Nancy and Joe. I know Joe was in the house. We stayed with Nancy and Joe when we were in Colorado, and they were kind enough to let us stay with them for a little while, and it was fantastic. So good to see you, Nancy and Joe. Pam is here, and Queen Anne and Bobby and Aaron and Banshee Muse and Candy and Jess. Good morning to you, and Deirdre and everybody else. If I didn't say hello to you, good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here. So one way that I want to start with positivity is I want to do kind of like an off-topic giveaway. I should have put these up on my table. Hold on a second. Oh my goodness. Hey, husband, can you do me a favor and pick those up for me? I can't reach them. Thank you. I appreciate it. My husband walked in. Thank you, my love. These were sent to me a while back, and they're phone cases. There's phone cases for Galaxy cell phones. Let me show you what they are. I'm going to do 2 giveaways. These are for Galaxy S9s, and I have an iPhone. So these are, I can't use these, but I want them to have a good home. So these are the S9 ones. I'll tell you in a second how you can enter. These are the ones for an S9. That one's like purple sparkly bits. And then these are for a Galaxy S9. Oh, wait, those are S9. Wait, hold on a minute. Yeah, this one's S9 too. It's this pink and gray one. And then these are for an S9 Plus. So you've got this one with marble, and then this one that's like clear with flowers on it. And I would really love to give these away. I can't even try them because they don't fit my phone. They just randomly showed up at my house. I know they showed up at other people's houses too. So if you would like to enter that, what we're going to do is we're going to have you leave a comment under the video when the video is done, because I can't capture comments or do anything in the live chat. So I can't, like, it's not a functional way to do a giveaway from live chat. So if you're watching live right now. After the video renders, about 15 minutes after we're done, or an hour or 3 hours or 5 hours after we're done, or however many hours, whenever you think of it, come back and just leave a comment and put in, just make sure you say which one you would want to win. So whether you would want the Plus or the regular Galaxy S9s. Because I want these to have a good home. I don't want to throw them away. They look like nice cases. They're from a brand called Ciel by Cyril, C-I-E-L by C-Y-R-I-L-L. I want them to have a good home. So we'll do that. So that's a way we can increase positivity in the community. But I think like on our end as influencers, we really need to make sure we're putting out content that is going to increase that positivity. But the problem with that is I feel like a lot of people really like watching the negativity. Does that make sense? Like, do you agree with me on that a lot of people enjoy watching negativity? Maybe I don't get it. Like, I guess it's the reality TV bug, you know, how everybody likes watching reality TV, but I'd love to know what you all think of that. Jennifer's going back to bed. She's tired. Good night, Jennifer. If you're watching on the replay, I do speak to the people that are in the community here. If that bothers you, I'm really sorry. But I feel like their opinions are important just as yours are in the comments below. Jen says, I refuse to participate in negativity. I'm too old for that stuff. I think a lot of people feel the same way, Jen. Ouch, my spleen. Yay, I'm in live chat. I'm happy you're here. Let's see if anybody's talking about, let's see. Alexandria, hello. She says, people totally love watching negative stuff, but I don't get it. See, like, I don't know, like during all of the drama that was happening, I was keeping up with it and I was watching select drama channels to kind of keep up on what people were saying, you know, the ones that I enjoy. I don't watch all drama channels, but I do watch some drama channels because I do feel like some of them give good information. But hold on a second. But I was kind of keeping up on that. I'm also very active on Twitter. Twitter is where a lot of things go down. A lot of things happen on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, Twitter is a place to really keep up to date with what's happening in the beauty community, because like Instagram just really isn't very conversational. Neither really is Snapchat. Twitter is really a place where people can actually have conversations. So if you're not on Twitter and you want to know what's happening in the lives of all of the people on YouTube, Twitter's a great place. And I'm Jen Loves Reviews over there if you wanted to follow me over there. I want to get it right. I don't want to get it wrong. I'm just going to call you Lon. Is that okay? I hope that's okay. I don't want to butcher it. Yes, I secretly love drama videos, but it also exhausts me. It is exhausting. It's very exhausting. Julie says people eat it up, but I don't. Veronica says, yes, they do. I don't get it either. Easy to get sucked in. Absolutely. Pam says, I admit I enjoyed the great beauty community backfire incident. Yeah, I mean, during the whole thing, like it was almost like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, it's like my stomach sank every day. It was like, I can't believe it's getting worse. I can't believe it's getting worse. If you don't, I'm not going to go through it all here, but there was a lot of stuff that went down with Laura Lee and Manny MUA and Gabriel Zamora. You can look up that whole story. I'm not going to tell the whole story because it's long girlfriend and boyfriend. It's a long story. And then it was a bunch of other things. You know, different influencers are being talked about different ways, but I don't know. We're all just people, man. We're all just people, and people definitely make mistakes, you know, and everybody has to decide where they fall as far as forgiveness. You know, I don't know, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about positivity, how we can flip it to positive. Jenny says, hi, Jen, first time ever in live chat. I bought the Juvia's Place the hair and palette. Yay, and you liked it. Yay, I'm so glad. I love it too. Let's see. Oh, no, it skipped down. I missed some things. Victoria says, I'm guilty of watching drama channels. I think it's entertaining, but I don't support the bullying, though. This is where I draw the line. Yeah, and I feel like with drama channels, I feel like there are some that are outright bullying channels. Some of them are mean. Some of them are cruel. Some of them make things up that aren't true just to spread rumors for sensationalism. And they present it as fact. They present it as truth. And it bothers me. Like, it really, really bothers me. So I'm very selective in who I watch. And I think that's one way that we can, as a community, really, fight against negativity is making sure we're watching the channels that we want to support, watching the channels that we want to grow. If we feel like there's a channel that we don't feel deserves to, maybe we feel like they're a terrible person for one reason or another, not watching those videos is critical. Because I feel like, that's, how you watch with, when you go to the store, I just woke up. When you go to the store and you choose to buy this or this, you are speaking with your dollars. On YouTube, you speak with your views. So not watching people, even if you're curious, that you feel like are terrible people that you don't want to succeed, like that, we're contributing to that. And I'm definitely guilty of falling into that every once in a while because I'm curious or whatever. I mean, we're human. But I think that's really, really important. Gina says, I'm from Peru and I enjoy your videos. In English, your voice is so clear. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I've been accused many times of speaking too fast. So I'm glad that's it's working out for you. Carrie Nell, it sure is exhausting. I saw a few videos to know what's up, what's stopped. Yeah. Lisa, it's like a car accident. Yeah, I know, but it's like, people are constantly complaining about the negativity, why there's so much negativity. But I think our actions as a community really contribute to the growth of the negativity, because it's like it's like a car wreck. It's like a car wreck. Beauty Yield Detective, I don't follow them, but are their channels still silent? I believe so. I did try to reach out to Laura because I do know Laura. Well, sort of, kind of know Laura, sort of. I did try to reach out to her, wished her happy birthday. I haven't heard anything from her. I don't know if she's just radio silent everywhere or what. I'm glad being. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm not going to read. You can read her comment because the chat's on the side. Okay. Skip down. You all are definitely entitled to your opinions, but I don't want to I don't want to comment on people specifically. City of the Silent, how can you support Peter after what he's done? I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know. But I think, I think this is a good point, though. I think that it's important that we all, as a community, are able to make our own decisions without pushing our decisions on other people. So even though I love you, City of the Silent, I know you comment on a lot of my videos. I know you've been here in live chat. I feel like it's up to me whether I want to support someone or not without being guilted into not supporting them. You know what I mean? I feel like we're in a culture, we're in a cancel culture. We're in a culture where we're constantly canceling people. And I think that when we push our own ideals and our own viewpoints on other people, that's a really bad thing. And if people don't want to support Peter for whatever thing he did, I don't even know, whatever it is, then that's up to that person. But to I don't know. I feel like no one should be guilted into going into someone else's opinion just because they feel bad about it because they don't want to get slammed for it. Does that make sense? I should make a decision not to support someone because I believe I shouldn't support them, not because I'm feeling pressure to not support them. It should come from my heart, not from my own. Does that make sense? And I'm hoping that I don't know. I feel like that's something that definitely happens. When something happens, I get comments, how can you support this person? I'm not going to support you if you support them and all of that. But it's like we're all individual people. Shouldn't we have the right to make our own choices as far as who we want to support without being guilted into not supporting somebody? But I have no idea what happened. So I'm not talking because I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about that? That's what I would like. And she comments on my videos all the time. No hate toward her. I adore her. She's wonderful. But I get those comments all the time, and I'm just super curious. But I don't want to talk about Peter specifically in the video, so I'll catch up on that. Katie says yes, absolutely. And I think it's important to not hide behind our computers where no one can see our faults and expect others to be perfect. Yeah, that too. I mean, I feel like sometimes people feel
feel like people on YouTube have to be these perfect individuals. You know, we're just human beings. We make mistakes too. I mean, I might have people look at me after what I just said and say, no, this is not a person that I agree with. This is not a person I want to be around. This is not a person I want to subscribe to. And that's fine. Like if we're not, you know, it's like a breakup almost, you know, if you feel like we're not compatible, then that's fine. But like thinking about why we're canceling somebody or why we're canceling, yeah, well, let's just stick with people. Why are we canceling that person? Like, is it because they're not as perfect as we thought they were? And I think that's part of the problem with YouTube is that all you see, sorry, I'm shaking the chair a little bit. I'm gonna try not to do that. All we see on YouTube is what the YouTuber shows you. You don't see the outsides, but we all make mistakes. We're all just human beings. You know, we're not reality television characters that's scripted. We're not movie characters. We're not TV characters. We're just people. And everybody does things sometimes that they regret. I know I've done things that I regret. I don't know anybody that hasn't done things that they wish that they had done differently. Maybe you don't regret, but everybody makes mistakes, you know? You switched the spelling of your name. Now I'm confused because you used to spell your name different. Sheeta is what I'm going to say, but I don't think that was the way your name was spelled before. She says it's mob mentality, and I completely and totally agree. It is mob mentality. You know, that it's like, get them, bring the torches, fire and brimstone. And it's like, all I did was say, I don't like X. You know, like it really can be mob mentality. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that as people, we need to realize if we're getting sucked into a mob mentality, you know, stopping ourselves and saying, do I truly believe this? Do I truly believe that this action was wrong? If yes, do we need to bring the pitchforks? Do we need to bring the fire? Or should we just unsubscribe? Should we express a comment of disappointment? Is that something do you want to tell that person, I am disappointed in you? But should we like set them on fire? I personally don't believe in setting people on fire. I believe that people have a right to express themselves and say, look, I'm disappointed in what you've done. I'm not happy. Like that I get, but the setting people on fire thing is crazy. And I agree. Rashida, there you go. Thank you. It wasn't sitting right. Something was wrong there. I agree with her when she says mob mentality. Absolutely. Maricela says, what do you mean stay in your own lane? White privilege much? I deal with this daily and no more. I'm a little bit confused what you're referring to. All I'm trying to say is I think that people should. And I think people should critically analyze whether something bothers them or not. You know, and listening to all of the sides. I think maybe that's a part that I left out, which is really important, is listening and educating yourself before making a decision and not making a snap judgment. I think that's really important too, is taking the time to learn about a situation and then forming an opinion instead of making a snap judgment. Maybe I didn't articulate that well. Hopefully that clarified. But I just don't believe in forcing your opinion on somebody else just to make them feel bad. You know what I mean? It should come from the heart. And when we're talking about something specific as far as cultural issues and things, I think it's important to listen to people of other cultures so that you can understand as best as possible before forming an opinion. I think hopefully that clarified things, I hope. I think that we all choose what we allow into our lives and that we should all align ourselves with what feels right inside our hearts. Life is too short and many are influenced to agree. And I think that's where a lot of negativity comes from, is from all of us. You know, you just listen to the one source and you go, oh, and then you bring the pitchfork, you know, and the tiki torch and all of that. And it's like, whoa, okay, let's just take a minute. Let's just take a minute. Shelby says people love Mel Gibson until they found what they want us to see. We need to decide what we ingest for entertainment. Yeah, absolutely. And also another thing that I think is really important is that the things that we found, like Mel Gibson. Okay, let's use Mel Gibson as an example because we know Mel's not going to be watching this. Okay. Everybody loved him for the longest period of time. Was he back when everybody loved him? Probably. Are there people we love now and brands we love now that are run by cruddy people? Probably. And we're supporting them. Don't know about it. The people like Mel Gibson just got caught. So the people we're boycotting, the people we're banning, the people that we're bringing, setting on fire, those are the people we found out about. There's probably shady stuff going on in every single brand, or at least close to every single brand. I shouldn't say every brand, but there's skeletons in everybody's closet. It's just, what is your personal deal breaker? And I think having a respect for everybody's individual deal breakers is important, you know? And I think having these tough conversations is important, and being open and talking about these things and having a good conversation, I think, is really important. And I think that we're scared sometimes to talk about these things. And I'm not. I've always been very open. I'm not afraid to talk about this stuff. And I think if we talk about it, we address it, like it's almost like having a problem in a relationship. If we talk about it and we address it, then hopefully we can move on to something better, you know? Banshee Muse, I agree with freedom of speech. And if you don't like what someone says, don't watch them. I hate that people just want to shut people down because you don't agree. And it's definitely okay to disagree. And I mean, is, oh, I'm a tea drinker, unsubscribe. It's like, wait, what? You know, I think sometimes people are very over dramatic. I think the big things, there are big things. Make that clear, there's big things. But I think there are little tiny things that I get comments on my videos where it's like, wait, what? Okay, well, you do you. You do you. But it brings a negativity, you know? Like if we're not jamming, if we're not gelling, that's okay. You know? Megan says racism will always be a deal breaker. Yes. Yeah. I mean, and I think that I think context is important. And I also think that it's not up to me. If somebody's being racist against me, then yes. But I don't have, like, there are certain things I can't talk about with that because I am not of a marginalized group in that way. There's certain things I just can't talk about and I can't speak on. Yeah. It's not my place to forgive. It's not my place to judge. It's not, it has nothing to do, it's not me. You know, so I think elected is really important for people like me, you know, that weren't affected by racism in that way. I hope I'm not speaking too much in code. I hope I'm being clear. Live chat, when you say something, it's out there. So I, you know, like hopefully I'm articulating myself well. My point. Yeah, the problem with the First Amendment is that it doesn't apply here on formats like this. Ouch, my spleen says. Yeah, and I think that like in my comments, I've had people say it's my right to say blah blah blah, and it's like, but like if you go, let's say someone invites you into their home and you walk into their house and they're going to make you dinner and be like, this rug is ugly, this couch is ugly, like this is, you know, your food sucks. Like, are you going to want that person in your house? No. And I see my YouTube comments as kind of my house, you know, like it's my space, it's my house. And like, if we know each other like that, then that's cool, you know, that's the way I feel sometimes. But even new viewers, like if someone comes in and gives me constructive criticism and constructive feedback, like, hey, maybe you could do it like this, or maybe you could do it like that. I'm like, all right, comes in and tells me how much I suck and how ugly I am and how I'm terrible and all this stuff, like in like a mean, cruel way. It's like, why are you coming to my house being like that? Why are you doing that? What is happening, you know? Kate says, Jen, this is why I love you. The points you make so much sense to me. I try to make sense. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm not clear. But that's why I feel like this kind of format for live chat is really important so that I can get people's feedback if I'm off. Like there was one about the white privilege thing, and I hope that I clarified that. So, I mean, I'm not denying that there is white privilege, but we're not going to get into all of that. There's no way we can get around that. And Debatis B says, OMG, Jen, you're giving me life. Oh, thank you. Jenny says, I hate rudeness. I won't tolerate it. Yeah, I mean, and it's part of my job. It's part of my job. Just like when you work in retail, you work in a restaurant, it's part of your job to deal with really mean people, you know? Let's skip down. Catherine says so many influencers are afraid to say what's on their minds for good reason. I mean, if you for a good reason. I mean, we've seen now. I mean, the crash of Manny and Laura Lee was worse than the crash of, was it Logan Paul had a horrible video. It was worse than that. Like their crash was worse. And I think it's because people in the beauty community have a very high standard for the people they watch. And I think where that stems from, the expectation of beauty influence, I think it stems from the fact that we're giving you recommendations you're going to spend your hard-earned money on. You go to work, you get your paycheck, you have this much money, and you're going to go, this person's going to give you a recommendation, and you're going to go out and purchase it with this much money. You want it to be good, and you want to be able to trust that person. And I think when you lose trust in a beauty influencer, it's different than losing trust in other spaces on YouTube. Because we are, as a community, very purchase-based. And don't mess with my money. That's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? Don't trick me into spending money, like all of that, you know? And I think that's why it's so much harsher in beauty than was for like Logan or Jake Paul, whichever Paul that was. And, you know, all these other people that get in trouble, they lose a bunch of subscribers and they just bounce back. I think that's why it's worse. And I think that's why it's hard for beauty people sometimes to just put it all out there, you know, because it's scary. It's absolutely scary. I mean, what can happen? Absolutely. Cinematically Correct says, it's sad how people have become so quick to attack instead of taking time to understand this happened with Graveyard Girl and the Starbucks drama. I saw that existed, but I didn't watch it, so I don't know that story. Catch up and see what happened. I don't even know. Okay, so okay, I'm not going to get into that. That's too deep into the white privilege thing. There's some really good videos on white privilege in case you want to learn more about that. Kimberly Clark has one of the best videos that I've seen on white privilege. And there's Black Vogue. What's her YouTube name? Lavette Jallo. I'm in the middle of watching one of her videos where she talks about people that are not of color, how to be an ally, but it's a little hard to listen to because it's a public speaking forum and it's a little hard to understand. She's got kind of a thick British accent echoing, so I'm still in the middle of listening to it. But Kimberly Clark and then Lavette Jallo is another really great resource, learning more about that. And I try to educate myself as much as I possibly can about that. Rachel says, women are always going and think otherwise is idealist, and it's because of men. I don't know about, I don't like to blame a group of people in the world, but I do feel like women as a culture right now that we do like to bring each other down. And I don't, like, for example, like with teaching, I feel like it's a women-dominated profession. So when teachers want to be paid a living wage, I'm not talking about astronomical amounts of money, but being paid a living wage so they don't have to get a second job, you know, people are very against it. And I think that part of it is women reaching for success is sometimes looked down upon by other women. And I think in the beauty space, I think it's no different. I think that, you know, being conscious of that and thinking, okay, if this were a man in front of me that we're doing this, maybe it's a sponsored video that's disclosed, maybe it's a live stream that's got super chat going, maybe it's a Patreon, something like that. If this were a man in a different space, would I feel the same way? And just kind of checking ourselves a little bit and making sure, okay, am I just having this issue because it's a woman? Because we do have things in the back of our mind that are subconscious that we know are affecting the way we feel about certain situations. But I do feel like as women, we don't build each other up enough. And that's why I do a lot lot of those series channels where I did the one where I think it was 20,000 subscribers and under, shouting out a bunch of channels. And I do it all the time on Twitter. I try to mention channels on my channel all the time because I feel like we need to build each other up and help each other. And if you feel like somebody is doing a really good job, telling them, hey, you're doing a great job. And my community, the collective brain, is really good at building each other up, building me up, conversations in the comments, just being supportive of each other. Our Facebook group, people are amazing over there. The way that people support each other out there, that build each other up. And I think that's what we need more of in this world, is kind of just helping build each other up instead of tearing people down. You know what I mean? Jane says it's like bringing down Goliath after a number of instances of bullying and talking down to their audience drama channels. You're talking about like the YouTube channels, that like Laura and Manny's YouTube channels. I think that you're right, it is. And I think that's part of that mob mentality, is it's bringing down Goliath. It's like, you did this to me and now we're going to watch you fall, and we're going to celebrate it, and we're going to watch you fall. And it's like, yay, we won. And I personally, this is me, and everybody has to choose what's right for them. For me, I don't agree with that. For me personally, and I'm if that's you, but for me personally, I feel like, yes, there need to be consequences for actions. Absolutely, there need to be consequences for actions. But I think the celebration of a downfall of somebody, of someone losing their entire life, is not something that I want to be a part of. These are people that I've met. I'm not friends. I wouldn't say I'm friends with them. Manny, we've talked, business wise through Twitter, but never personally. Laura, we've talked personally a little bit, but I wouldn't say she's a friend. She's more of someone that I've met, that we have talked. But I don't celebrate the downfall of other people. I mean, unless you're an axe murderer, or you're, you know what I mean? Like, unless you have done something so horrible that it's like, you have ruined, like, I'm not going to go into the list of things that would be the thing, but like, I'm talking about like horrible things, terrible, then yes, of course, you want to see those people go to jail. You want to see, justice served. But I feel like in this situation, for me personally, I'm not celebrating the fall. I'm not celebrating it. I do believe there should be consequences for actions, and people need to decide for themselves what their line is. But celebration, it sits wrong with me personally. But that's just me. And I don't, like I said, I'm just speaking for myself. Susan says, tell us how your trip was. I'm going to do a whole video on that, on how the trip was. And if we have time at the end, we'll talk a little bit about it. But I want to stay on topic for the most part. And I know some people probably didn't want to talk about this today, and I'm sorry. And we'll talk more about makeup stuff next week. We were going to talk about makeup stuff, but then I had an idea, and then I realized I did that idea back in April. So I was like, I'm going to think of something really quick because I realized, like, oh man, I already did that topic. I was going to do the, what we want from makeup brands. Like, what are we tired of? What do we really want to see? But I did that in April, so I couldn't do it. So I had to think of something in like 5 minutes. So I'm sorry if this isn't what you will be back to talking about, like more makeup related stuff. And I feel like it's good to kind of hash this out. And I didn't get to comment on all of this when it was happening. So I think it's kind of important for me to kind of tell you where I'm at. Alexandria says, I agree, Jen, all actions have consequences, but I don't agree with celebrating. Banshee Muse, I cannot believe people these days publicly wanting people to die or have horrible things done to them. It's too much. Yeah, I hear you. Karen says, I choose not to watch any beauty drama channels. I come to YouTube for makeup and learn techniques, and I'm very selective for what I watch. Karen, I do apologize if this is too much for today. I do want it to be more positive, though, and I want to try to put a positive spin on it. It's kind of hard, though, because it drags you down, like you try to be positive, but it sneaks in there, and it grabs a hold of you and it just brings you down. Telestra, what do you think about Peter Mon? I don't know the situation, whatever happened with Peter. But as of now, we'll see though. I'm not educated enough on something else that apparently happened that I missed. Let's see. Lisa says, I'm hoping that something good comes out of all the drama, like seeing the smaller channels get the recognition they deserve. I totally agree. And I love what Marlena from Makeup Geek is doing. And I did leave a comment on a video. Tina from the Fancy Face had made a video talking about her history with Marlena and Makeup Geek. It's a very interesting video. I definitely recommend you go check it out. I love Tina. She's amazing. We've been subscribed to each other's channel. And I left a comment because I don't want to go too deep into it, but basically I was saying that it seemed like Marlena was going to be ditching smaller influencers for Tati because of some things that were happening on Twitter. It turns out that she wasn't. She may still be class. She's already showing these different small influencers that she's supporting and trying to build up. And I think that's wonderful. And I think we need to be on YouTube, on the internet, in life of, building women up. And I think that's fantastic that she's doing that. Sarah says, I think this is a great group. And if we're going to have an intelligent conversation, this is the place to do it. I totally agree. And that's one thing I love this community is, and I appreciate that so much that you all, like, I don't have, like, I'm sure that there are people that would follow me no matter what I do, but I hope not. Like, I hope that, like, you are thinking critically for yourself no matter what the situation. And I feel like my audience overall, you all, the collective brain, are really good at, like, thinking for yourselves and making your own choices about things. And I see it in the comments. There is always a lot of disagreement, slight disagreements with me in my comment section, which is fantastic because we can't all think the same. That'd be super boring. Like, I read with my daughter, we read A Wrinkle in Time. And there's that one world where everybody does the exact same thing at the exact same time, and it's all controlled by, like, this giant brain thing. It's a really weird book, but how terrible would it be if we all thought exactly the same? That would be terrible. It would be boring. Like, so I'm so thankful that our community is like this. Yeah, the baddest bee says, that she's thankful that they are saying, well, I'm not going to assume, they are saying that, the outing people is good because we want to make sure we're watching honest people. I agree, thinking about it from, right now in this moment, I agree with that. I feel like it's important to know, who we're watching and who we're supporting, especially when our wallets are involved. If there's somebody that's doing a review of something and they're not disclosing, they're being paid closing, and they're essentially manipulating people into buying a product that may not be very good, or manipulating people into not buying a product that may actually be good, really bad, because you're messing with people's wallets. Like, that is a serious line cross. Like, I was talking to my husband about this. Like, if you watch channels outside of the beauty space, you watch Philip DeFranco, you watch Alpha M, you watch, all of these, you watch gaming channels, you watch all these other channels, all of them are super, like they're obvious about it. They're like, Alpha M's like, oh, and this belt, this is sponsored by this belt. This belt is so cool. Look at this. Philip DeFranco, in the middle of his show, his video is sponsored by so-and-so, and then he goes into it. It's so clear. That's the way sponsored videos are done. When this video is sponsored by so-and-so. Like, I think even, what was it, Nikki Tutorials, she did a sponsor video for, I don't even want to talk about Nikki Tutorials in that sponsor video because I don't know, it's been forever since I watched it, but I remember she did a Best Fiends one, and I know Best Fiends pays very, very well because I've turned down their offers before. They pay really well. But I remember she did a Best Fiends thing, and that was clearly, to me, an ad in the beginning of the video for the app. Those are supposed to be done. I'm not speaking. See, I know people are going to take that and they're going to run with it and they're going to take it in all these weird directions. Don't take it in a weird direction. I'm just talking about the Best Fiends ad specifically. You disclose it. You say, this is an ad. This is the way it is. And now let's talk about whatever. Like, why are beauty people, we shouldn't be doing it any other way. Nobody should be doing it any other way. And I think that if people did it any other way, I mean, if people did it that way, I don't think most people would have a problem with it. But it's the shadiness. It's the shadiness. It's the trickery. Nobody likes to feel lied to. Nobody likes to feel tricked. Nobody likes to feel like the wool's been pulled over their eyes. Nobody likes that feeling. It makes you feel sick when you feel like you've been duped by anybody in any part of your life. If you feel like someone has tricked you, that's why I don't like prank videos. I can't watch them because it's like, if you feel like somebody's tricked you, it's like, oh, like, and I think that's what happened. And if somebody is doing those behaviors, absolutely, I feel like we should know about it. I feel like that's something that people need to know about because your money is involved. Your money, this is your money. It's important. You can spend your money on this, but you have to choose. All right, I'm done with that. Anyone seen Ask a Mortician? Yeah, a little bit of that, but I'm like, the death thing really freaks me out. Maybe it'll desensitize me a little bit if I watch her videos more, but it's a great channel. Pasta McFart Pants. The ladies of the beauty news are doing some cool things. Low buy makeup a month, one palette, etc. on their personal channels. Nice. That's great to know. Kristen says, everyone needs to check out Andrea Mattiliano. Yes, I've known Andrea for years. She's fantastic. I love her. She's amazing, down to earth, and loves stuff. Totally agree. I love Andrea. She's fantastic. And she's beautiful too. And her setup is so crystal clear and perfect and beautiful. Oh my gosh. Her production value is sick. It's so good. Let's see. Steph says, not only are we subscribers, we are consumers, and not disclosing sponsorship, etc. is just flat out wrong. I totally agree. Totally agree. Rachel says, yeah, I think the advertising and affiliate marketing has played a huge role in the negativity in the community. Get your coin, but don't be fake and do it. Yes. And I think that's the point. And I think even smaller influencers get sucked into that. So just because they're a smaller influencer, you still have to have your critical thinking on. You still have to have that critical thinking, even if it's a smaller person. Steph says it should be illegal. I totally agree. Illegal, but nobody keeps up on it. Like the whole FTC disclosure, like that's a law, but no one keeps up on it. Ouch, my spleen says, I feel so overwhelmed by so many palette releases. I know. It is so stinking oversaturated right now. Like, I went to the Sephora Rouge event yesterday, and I was like, what? Like, this is it? This is all you've got? Really? Like, I'm always excited about at least one thing. I almost got the Becca trio of highlighters, but I already had 2 of them. I got the Too Faced thing just because I want to get something. You ever go to the store and buy something just because you want to buy something, even though you realize you don't really need it or want it? You just wanted to buy something. It's very childish. It's a very childish behavior. It's very going back to my 13-year-old self with my allowance and going to the mall and just wanting to buy something. That's what I did at the Sephora event. I got that, and I got the Bobbi Brown palette that I thought was supposed to be red, but it's brown. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to even review them. I might just take them back. I haven't even opened them yet. I might just take pictures of them and take them back and just have them because they haven't been touched. I don't know. We'll see. I might swatch them and use them and then maybe gift it to my mom. My mom could probably, Mom. My mom's Jewish though, so she didn't care. And that's Christmas stuff. She didn't care. Shelby says, too much info. My daughter points to a product in Sephora and I tell her the price in the description and she freaks out. That's cute. Jen says, our Rouge event was terrible. I was hoping to see some cool palettes and it was sad. Yeah. And they usually have snacks. They usually have coffee and snacks. And I specifically this year so I have snacks. They had no snacks. I was sad. They had me a little mini water bottle and I was like, where are the snacks at? It was all good. I was on it for like a minute and then I moved on with my life. Lori says, I bought both Emily's palettes. Me too. I guess it was a few days ago. I got them in PR. So we're going to have to do a review and a giveaway. but that's not going to be till early October because I'm like booked solid for videos for September. I don't have any room left. There's just no space. There's no space. Over here liking my $15 Jaclyn palette. Like, yeah, I'm not buying the Jaclyn Hill palettes. I asked on Twitter whether I should buy them. I was like, I'll buy them right now if y'all want me to. And everybody, well, like, we've moved on, so I'm not buying them. If I was home, I would have bought them and done a full review and swatches and comparisons and all that stuff. But people are over it, I think, for the most part. And that would take a lot of work, a lot of work. If she comes out with something else, I might, though, because people are really interested in her releases for the most part. Jenny says, I don't understand releases, fruity stuff close to fall. Bring me pumpkin spice stuff. I know, right? Speaking of that, I got the Makeup Geek pumpkin spice palette. And then I realized I got rid of her single shadows because she's discontinuing them. So it was like wasting my money. Like, not her fault. I didn't know. But it's like if the shadows aren't even going to be around anymore, why even own them? That's why I got them, is so that I could have them for like duping purposes and stuff. Oh, well. Yeah. She's discontinuing most of her shadows, so. Rachel says it's retail therapy. Yeah. I mean, but for me, like in that moment, it was just me being stubborn and impulsive. Sometimes it's retail therapy. It makes me feel like good and happy to buy something. But in that situation, it was got to get something. Oh, Brandy did her first ever cut crease. Good job, Brandy. Julie wants to know, collective brain, who do you trust and love on YouTube? That's a great thing to put in the comments, people, for references. I know we've had multiple threads about that on Twitter, probably in the Facebook group too. I would imagine lots of threads about that. But if you want to leave in the comments here, people you love, absolutely. Positivity, positivity, positivity. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Let's celebrate it. Oh, it skipped down. I missed some things. Jennifer says, I wish companies would slow down on the releases. I feel like more people would buy newer and more if we had a little more to enjoy, time to enjoy the items. I totally agree. And I thought it was really interesting in the news today. I know it was a really long news show, so if you didn't watch the whole thing yet, there's a story about e.l.f., how one of the investors is talking to e.l.f. about that they need to think about selling or cut costs. And then they talked about pushing out. That is not what e.l.f. needs to be doing. e.l.f. does not need to be pushing out more products. Absolutely not. e.l.f., in my opinion, needs to put out higher quality product. e.l.f. products that are good. There are a lot of them that are really, really bad. And they need to figure out how they're going to make better quality products, go deeper into the testing of it. If they can make a high quality product for a low price, they're going to kill it. They're going to kill it. It's not about the number of releases. It's about the quality of the releases. And that's what they need to do, in my opinion. You have to tell me whether you agree or not. Jamie says, positivity. I'm so glad chat is back. Chat makes it feel like chat. I'm chatting with the lovely people while putting my makeup on in the morning. Yeah, well, that's what I hope that it's like. I know that that's what it's like for me, is chatting with lovely people. Barbara says Sabrina is great. I love Sabrina. She's amazing. She's been going through so much in her life lately that she's put it up on Twitter and everything. So much going on with her. She's had a tough year, man. So she's such a good person. Oh my gosh. 70 says glam and gore. Mikey is funny and has some special effects and glam makeup. Just fun, uplifting person to watch. Totally agree. I am subscribed to Mikey. I've never met Mikey, but hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Sick talented. Like sick talented. Shelby says, how many times do people say they're sick of all these releases? I know, right? And I think that I don't know that, because I think that's ridiculous. That's a terrible move. But it's interesting because the CEO of e.l.f. was like, we take into consideration all of our investors' ideas. It sounded like the CEO of e.l.f. was not happy with that suggestion, which I'm glad, because that was bad, not good. thing to suggest. Sarah, but the other thing on the going on behind the scenes is makeup companies like e.l.f. who are owned by private equity. They have to hit huge growth, usually in 5 years or less. So blam with product launches. Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I think that you have to be in touch with your customers. You have to be in touch with what your customers want. And that's one thing I love about the collective brain, is that I learn so much from you when I'm, reading comments, when we're in live chat, when we're, hanging out wherever. I learn so much from you. And I think a lot of these companies have lost the pulse on what their customers want. And I hate to say it, but I think sending out PR to influencers and then reading the video, yes, the influencer, does the video or whatever, but that's just one opinion. I think the comments under the video are critical, absolutely critical for brands to be paying attention to. And I don't know, the person making the video is only one person. Ivy says that's why we have to be an educated consumer and not just buy because it's the latest new and shiny. Absolutely. And if there's anything What's Up in Makeup has taught me, sorry, I keep shaking the camera, is that there are so many products being released every single week. You can't possibly buy it all. You can't. And why would you want to? Like, there's just too much. There's just too much. And you have to be selective. And that's why it's so important with the honesty in reviews and all that. That's why, because you can't buy everything. You have to be selective. And plus, I don't know if you feel like this, but I feel like, if you've been around collecting, doing the makeup thing for a while, huge collections, why do we even need any more? Why do we need more? I don't know. Videos, I wouldn't buy any more makeup. I'd be done. I don't think I'll buy anything else. I think I'd be done. I kind of have to get more, but it's just so much stuff. And that might be part of the decline of beauty videos too, is that people just have too much stuff already. You don't need the new releases because you already got so much. Why you need more stuff? So I think that beauty video creators like myself, we need to step up our game and have something else to offer other than a basic product review. That's why I like to go into ingredients and stuff, to give more information. Because it's how much, TMI flow, it's like a real teacher and whatever he advertises, or, you think Ellen wears CoverGirl? How often do you think Ellen puts on her CoverGirl makeup? Really? People do her makeup for her for the show. Does she have at home a bunch of CoverGirl makeup that she uses all the time? I don't know. I don't know, Ellen. Just an example. But yeah, but then at the same time, if you are like most people, most YouTube channels, this video is sponsored by, it's not. This is just an example. It's not sponsored. This video is sponsored by Seal by Surreal phone cases. You can buy them at this website. They make phone cases for all. I've never even been to their website. I'm just playing a part here. You can go to their website. You can buy all these different kinds of phone cases. They're reasonably priced. I don't know if they're reasonably priced. And go check them out. And now let's talk about the video. That's a commercial. That's a commercial. That makes sense. But you don't say, oh my gosh, these are the best phone cases I've ever tried in my life. They're so good. And look how cute they are. They're so beautiful. They're my favorite thing ever. And you've never even tried them before. You don't do that. You don't do that. That's the difference. That's the difference, I think, between a commercial and a hidden sponsored post. It makes a huge difference when you're personally recommending something. That's different than saying in a commercial, I wear Fruit of the Loom. I don't know. Abby says, I feel like when people make reviews on limited edition things and then forget them, it's just as upsetting. I wish more people made videos. I hardly use them anymore because no one does anymore. Okay, so let me tell you why that happens. The limited edition, it's gone. No one can purchase it. And as a person who makes YouTube videos, if you're doing this as a job, and you give your audience things that they're interested in, limited edition products are probably not the best way to go, because you're only going to be able to speak to the people that purchase that product. And a lot of your audience be like, I don't know, Nat, I can't use that. So why would I watch that video? You know? And there's only so many videos you can create in a period of time because they're extremely time to make. So you have to be really selective what you make videos about. And that's why there aren't a lot. That's why I don't do videos on limited edition products. But I see your point that it's like, you know, you get a limited edition product and it's the bee's knees and it's amazing and it's the best thing you've ever tried, and then you never hear about it again. But that's why. You know, but I do mention like some limited edition. Oh, I'll tell you, remind me, the balm in stain. I'm so mad. But use a lot of my limited edition stuff. I just don't use it on camera a lot because of that. And I may mention it in like a, you know, favorites app kind of situation, or, you know, maybe in the description box of a video now that I'm going to start hopefully putting my makeup in, my makeup in the description box. But anyway, side note, it looks like the balm is discontinuing their in-stain blushes, and I'm dying. I can't even believe they did that. I'm so upset with them. They kept their other blushes that aren't as good, but they're getting rid of the in-stains that are amazing. And it's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Maybe because they're not selling. I don't know, but they're amazing. Shay Ray says, can you recommend influencers you trust? I have a couple of videos on that. There's so many good ones. And also over on my Twitter, if you go back, well, you probably can't find it. Maybe I'll see if I can find that tweet where I recommended people. I have a couple of them. Maybe I can link those in the description. I always forget to come back and do that. So many things in my brain. I'm going out to lunch with Linda from Glitter Fallout, so hopefully I'll remember to do that. But yeah, I have a couple of videos on it that I'll try to remember to link in the video description. Karen says, oh my goodness, she's all capped in me. All caps in me. Oh my God, will you do a video on the Makeup Geek shadows we need to buy before they're discontinued? I don't have any. Oh man, honestly, I don't own that many. I didn't buy that many. I bought some at the original launch. Back when she originally launched, I bought a bunch. I spent so much money on those for Makeup Geek. I spent so much money on those liquid lipsticks, the ones that were kind of flat. Hated them, hated the formula. And then I spent money on the jars, the jars that had not the sparklers, chromes, and my jars broke. The shadow inside was fantastic, but the jars broke. So I had to like find another jar, throw it away. It was horribly annoying. So like I never bought anything else after those two experiences with the liquid lipstick and the jar with that cracked on me, and like you screwed the top on, the top didn't fit the plastic jar, and the plastic jar right around where the ridges are shattered. So you couldn't screw the top on anymore. It was all broken. And thankfully it wasn't glass. So you don't have to worry about getting glass in your product, but you could get plastic in your product. Like it was just not good. So I didn't buy anything after that. Like that was it. I was done. I was planning on reviewing the little eyeshadows on the channel, but I got busy and I was like, I just stopped. So that's why I haven't bought anything Makeup Geek in a long time. If I had more, I would totally do a video on it. Lisa D says, I will watch a sponsored video, especially if it's someone I followed a while and know that they love the products before the sponsorship. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, like a month with Home Chef. Flipping love Home Chef. Like, and the only reason why I'm doing it as a sponsored video is because I showed in my first time on a beauty day. I showed my book of all my recipes that I've been saving for like a year. Like I love Home Chef. So it's easy for me to do a sponsored video for them because I have no complaints, except for I do have one complaint that one time, maybe twice since I've been getting it, the portion was a little small. But if the portion isn't small in the one that I'm making the video, I might not mention it. I don't know. If I'm telling you now. Well, I might mention it anyway. I don't know. We'll have to see whether it seems to naturally fit in there because I haven't filmed the video yet. Or I'll put it in the description. I don't know. Because I want to make sure I'm 100% transparent with you about whenever I do any video. But yeah, I love Home Chef. So that's the way I feel about it. And then with any other video where I like agree to the sponsorship and then I get the product, I'm just honest. I just tell you, like with the FabFitFun, I told you one of them I'm never going to use because it's got the sodium lauryl sulfate in it, and I don't use sodium lauryl sulfate because it freaks me out. Even though some people say that it's fine, it still freaks me out. The research studies I've read freak me out, so I don't use sodium lauryl sulfate. But I told you that, and that I'm not going to use one of the products ever. I'm not even going to pass it on. And then there are other ones I said I wasn't going to use because I didn't think they were good products. I mean, that's the way I do it, but not everybody does that. So you just got to keep an eye out for it, you know? All right, I keep saying, you know, and I apologize for that, you know. But thank you all so much for being here. Is there anything else you wanted to chat about before I go? Because I'm going to go ahead and pop off here. It's been an hour. Favorite subscription box is BoxyCharm, but I do get that. I have been getting BoxyCharm as PR since their second box. So just so you know, but BoxyCharm is the only one that I am digging right now. FabFitFun, actually, I've liked the past 2 boxes a lot, but hopefully they can keep it up because some of their boxes I don't enjoy as much. But I think I'm going to get rid of Ipsy. I might try their big box. They're going to come out with like a bigger BoxyCharm style box or bag. So I might get that and try it. But I've got like, so I canceled my Birchbox a while back. I just saw someone, I didn't see what it was, said they sent me a message on IG. I never, just because I despise Instagram. I don't like it. So I don't check my Instagram messages. So I'm like, I've got I tell people to reach out to me on Twitter. I've got a bunch of those I need to respond to. It's just been so crazy coming back, trying to get back in the swing of things. And I had a bunch of emails I needed to answer for different things and sort through all of the junk emails. I started responding to people that I don't want to collab with. Just no, thank you, best Jen. I'm not even explain it anymore. Like, I just don't want to do anything with your brand. Sorry, but thank you anyway. No, thank you. Bye. Because it just takes too long to respond. But yeah. What else? Shelby says my favorite sponsored videos are from Sephora. When YouTubers talk about Sephora products, they choose which ones they talk about. It seems more genuine. Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with you. I'm totally with you on that. And artistic, avant-garde, editorial looks for fun. I just miss the creative aspect of beauty. You know, like, I don't like if reels to come back if you really, really feel that way, not just Ivy, but like everybody. If that's what you want, you've got to watch tutorials when people make them. Because if you watch tutorials, if you watch a certain kind of video content, that creator will continue to make it if the majority of people are watching it. So make sure you're watching them, not just asking for it. So Rachel says, why do you despise IG? Because I don't like pictures of myself. And I don't like face tuning myself, and I don't like having to be perfect, and I just don't like it. I don't enjoy it. That's why I've tried to do like product shots and stuff, but there's so much work. I don't enjoy photography. My husband's going to help me a little bit with my Instagram because he loves that stuff. So he's going to start taking some pictures and stuff for me, but I really don't like it at all. I hate it. I like Twitter. I like having conversation. I like talking, in case you didn't notice. I like talking. But anyway, I'm going to pop off here. Thank you so much for appreciate you. We're going to be talking makeup next week. I've got to figure out some kind of makeup topic to talk about. The thing is, when you've done live streaming for 4 years or however long I've been doing this, it's hard to think of new topics. So if you have a suggestion for a topic you'd like to talk about, make sure you leave that in the comments below. And thank you again for being here. Mad love to you. Don't forget to check out the makeup news. It is up and live. It's a long show. Put it on double speed. If you feel like you can't sit through 30 minutes, put on double speed and just focus. Because it'll go really fast. Also, we do have our Facebook group, What's Up in Makeup, over on Facebook if you want to go check that out and continue the conversation. And yeah, thanks again for being here. Mad love to you. And we will see you next Sunday. And 5 makeup minutes. See you soon. Mad love. Bye.